Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to another Magic Arena Explorer video. So today we are delving back into our villain arc and playing a bit more blue-white control. Now we have played a similar looking deck on the channel a few weeks ago that plays Lay Down Arms. So this is a 1-mana sorcery that exiles a creature with mana value less than or equal to the number of planes you control. So it's a very efficient 1-mana removal spell, but it does require your deck to be heavily slanted towards playing planes. So we are kind of following a similar sort of trajectory with this deck, except you may have spotted we are excitingly playing 12 separate triomes, the tricolour lands. So we're playing every copy of the blue-white X land. So we have 4 Rafine's Tower, which is blue-white-black. We have 4 Spara's Headquarters, which is blue-white-green. And then 4 Ragarin Triome, which is blue-white-red. And essentially, the idea behind playing this is that we are also playing 4 copies of Leyline Binding, which is 5 and a white with flash, and it has domain. This spell costs 1 generic mana less to cast for each basic land type among lands you control, and it exiles a non-land permanent an opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. So with the Triomes in play, this can potentially be a 1-mana unconditional spell, which is incredibly efficient, can deal with any problematic card that the opponent has at instant speed, and is often hard to deal with, particularly for opponents who don't have a lot of enchantment removal, say if they're playing Rakdos mid-range. So yeah, and then the rest of the build of the deck is essentially blue-white control as you'd recognize it. So we have our counterspell package with 4 copies of Censor, 1 Make Disappear, and 3 copies of Absorb. Our Wrath package, our mass removal with 3 copies of Temporary Lockdown, which is very good at dealing with small creatures, creature tokens and the like, and 3 copies of Supreme Verdict, an uncounterable Wrath, and then 1 copy of Farewell as kind of an even potent removal spell that exiles artifacts, creatures, enchantments, and or graveyards in some combination. And then we have our card draw in 3 copies of Memory Deluge, and then our finishers are 3 copies of the Wandering Emperor, so a very powerful planeswalker that can exile attacking creatures, create samurais and also pump them, and comes in at instant speed. And then we have 3 copies of the old favourite Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, the 5-mana planeswalker that acts like a 3-mana planeswalker, so it comes in, draws you a card, untaps 2 lands, which then gives you access to counter spells potentially, or anything else you might try and do. And then our other finisher is our 2 copies of Shark Typhoon, so you can cycle those to create shark tokens or hardcast it if you particularly wish to. And then the mana base is as described, so we have lots of lands which are plains, so we've got 12 copies of our Triomes, we've got 3 Hollowed Fountains, 3 plains themselves, and then for other lands we've got 3 copies of Glacial Fortress, which is a good land to combine with all of these Triomes, as it will almost certainly come into play untapped when you play it, and then some utility lands as well, so we've got a Castle Ardenvale to generate creatures, a Ottawara Soaring City, a Castle Vantris, and then Iganjo, Seat of the Empire. So that is the main deck. And then in the sideboard, we've got 3 copies of Rest in Peace for our classic Graveyard Hate, 1 copy of Aethergust to deal with red or green spells that the opponent's playing, 2 copies of Narset's Reversal, which is a recent addition to control decks, so this allows you to copy instants and sorceries and return them to their owner's hand. So if your opponent plays a particularly problematic card, you can simply reversal it and use it against them. And then 2 copies of Dovin's Veto, which is very good at dealing with non-creature spells. Another temporary lockdown that we can bring in against particularly aggressive decks with lots of small creatures. 2 copies of Mystical Dispute against blue decks and control decks, and then our kind of our additional finisher package in 1 copy of Starnheim Unleashed, which creates angel tokens, 1 Baneslayer Angel. I'm wondering whether to just simply replace the Baneslayer Angel in the future with a Boonbringer Valkyrie, because I think that is strictly a better card. Yes, it doesn't have the protection from demons and dragons, which is marginal upside, but it does have the backup one, which might occasionally come in handy. 1 copy of Lyra Dawnbringer, which we've all seen before as our kind of Angel Lord. And then, interestingly, because this deck is splashing black and all the other colours, I've also got 1 copy of Chromium the Mutable in the sideboard, which is not a card we see very often, but it's a 7/7 legendary Elder Dragon with flash that can't be countered, has flying, and discard a card until end of turn. It becomes a 1/1 human with base power toughness 1. loses all abilities and gains hexproof. So essentially, if you have a card in hand, it is very hard to remove from the board. It can't be countered. So this is very good against control finishers, decks that have a lot of targeted removal. So yes, I enjoy playing Chromium. So I decided, given that we were splashing a little bit of black, that we would bring that into the deck as well. So that is the deck. It is sort of classic blue-white control, but with a bit of a twist with Leyline Bindings. So let's jump onto the ladder and see how we go on. Oh yes, we've got our new Fibble Thip avatar over there, having a great time. So this is okay. It's got a lay down arms and an absorb. Yeah, 5 lands is probably a bit too many, but I'll keep it. There he is, looking at his map. So our opponent's on a mulligan. They've kept to 6. Okay, some form of love-struck beast. There he is, looking at his map again. Anyway, yes, so I'll open with a Triome. See what they do. Another lay down arms is good. So this could be mono green. Yep. Play another Triome. I'm not hugely fussed to kill that, I don't think. Let's let them go ahead. Hours of fun. Okay, we can kill that next turn. Yeah. We are leaving ourselves vulnerable to a Cavalier here, but I don't think there's anything we can do about that. Could have held up Absorb, yep. And they've got a Nykthos. Ooh, Leyline Binding's good. So let's play another Triome. Or actually, we're keeping it to cycle now. Actually, no, because we'll need 5 planes. So do we take it now and get them off the devotion? But then I might want to absorb something instead. Yep, we'll pass the turn. We'll hold up both Absorb and Leyline Binding. Because if they play Storm the Festival, I'm going to want to absorb that. Yeah, fine, I'll take the damage here. No, because I might just lay down arms that. So they can have that. And I'll absorb that. Then I shall so let's play Hollowed Fountain. Let's lay down arms that. Leyline Binding the Troll. And pass the turn. Okay, so they've got 6 mana now, 7. So we've kept them off. There's Karn, obviously. Can never quite escape from their endless supply of good cards. What do they fetch with Karn? Stone Brain, maybe? Snag all of our Teferis. No? Okay, Haywire Mites. They're going to go after our Leyline Binding. It's fair enough. So I'm quite tempted to keep Ottawara here and just bounce it when they try and... Or do I just let them have the troll? Yeah, they can have the troll. Sure. The Emperor will deal with that. Four. Yeah, after the stone brain. Fair enough. Down comes the Emperor. Yep, okay, they're taking out Teferis. Fair enough. So they're not going to attack here. Nope, so we'll just make a 2-2. Am I cycling Sensor here? I don't think so. It can be potentially very good against to storm the festival, but then they're not really anywhere near us at the moment, so okay. Okay, Binding's a good draw. So, how should we do this? I think if we Binding the Troll, bounce the token, kill Khan. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good turn to me. So let's Binding, take the Troll away. Actually, I'm not sure we actually even need to bounce the token because they can block. But then Khan just as a +1 doesn't do anything. So yeah. We'll let them have the option of saving it, but let them go ahead. Okie doke. Tough choice. What do we do here? Let's just pop this back in their hand. Temporary lockdown doesn't do anything here. Okay, they're going to get to storm again. Yeah, things were looking reasonably positive there for a moment, but such as it is. Wonder if... Okay, the Great Henge. 3 Storm the Festivals. Okay, I think we're pretty much done here. Yep. Okay, so 8th August, Narset's Reversal, Dovin's Veto, Baneslayer and Lyra. Taking out Temporary Lockdown. Verdict is not great here. Non-exile based removal is not great. So we'll take that out. One Memory Deluge. Farewell's good. Temporary Lockdown's okay against Elf. Although maybe that's not. No, let's just take all of those out. Because by the time it's actually hitting the Elves, they've got the value off it. So yeah, this hand's okay. Could do with another land, but we might draw into it and we can cycle Censor if we absolutely have to. Okay, no Elf is good, but no land is also not great. Okay, that's better. Another cycle target. Yeah, sure. More land. More land, more land. Farewell, we like. Let's pass the turn again. You know what? You can have that. Because I'm going to Memory Deluge. I'm going to fetch a Teferi and an Absorb. And be very thankful I drew a land. So let's 1, 2, 3. Let's lay down that's arms. Pass the turn. Eighth August or Absorb. Absorb is probably better because we can then play Teferi regardless of whether we draw a land and have a counter spell up. So let's absorb this one. Okay, we could have done that the other way, but there's no point risking it, so let's play Tefers. +1. Sense is good. So let's hold up 3 mana. Yeah, no, Kiora can go away. Cycle Censor again. Ooh, Narset's Reversal I quite like. So let's plus Teferi. Play Hollowed Fountain. Hold Triome to cycle. So if they try and storm, we can reverse all that. We don't get much out of it, but I quite like doing it anyway. We could potentially get a Wandering Emperor, another couple of lands. It's never bad. Troll. Yeah. Sure thing. Okay, building up towards a farewell, I think, here. So let's cycle. That is interesting. That is very interesting. So I could cycle Shark Typhoon here, or I could wait to hardcast it. Yeah. Okay, that's good against potentially a Nykthos. So let's... or I could just hold up the Typh. So I can cycle for 4 and still have Aether Gust up. Or I could play Baneslayer. Baneslayer holds back basically everything they can. Yeah, let's do that. If only this could hit basic lands, it would be hilarious. Ooh, the Might Stone and the Weak Stone. That's an interesting one. And okay, let's cycle for Tower. Yeah, sure. Looks like they're going to kill our Baneslayer. Is a problem? Slightly frustrating. Oh well. It's not something you see. They must have, yeah, mainboarded that. It's interesting. Oh well. Let's gust away their troll. Yep, didn't think that was going to come back. Plus Teferi again. Okay, another Shark Typhoon's interesting. So let's play another Plains. Am I hard casting Shark Typhoon here? It's pretty tempting. Yeah, go on. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. I'm not surprised they had seen enough at that point. So, on the draw, what am I bringing in? No, I quite like this configuration. Sensor's less good, so maybe take out 1, replace it with the other Memory Deluge. Maybe we do need a Verdict. Let's pop in 1 Verdict, just if they get off to a particularly explosive start. How's Chromium in this matchup? No, they can't really do anything about it. But, sure you ever get. Yeah, we'll do that. I don't think you need Chromium, is the thing. Yeah, this is pretty good. Yep, Wolf Willow away. That is a fun blowout. Let's play Castle Ardenvale. And we've got Absorb and Oven's Veto if they try and storm the festival on us. Ooh, I came prepared, my friend. Sure thing. Am I just verdicting here? That is quite tempting. They're nowhere near casting Storm again. Might allow them to get Karn. Have they got Karn in hand? So I could play Teferi, minus that. But does basically the same thing. Yeah, no, let's verdict. That might be a mistake. We'll see. It all depends on what their last card is. Of course, it's always Karn. It's always Karn. Pithing Needle, sure. So I imagine that's going to hit our Teferi. Yep. Okay, well, let's Binding away their Karn while we can before it activates again. Okay, Cure is not too bad while their Devotion count's pretty low. Okay, so we can Teferi, but that doesn't do anything, so let's not. Okay, let's just hold up the Emperor and absorb. Okay, they can't do anything with that, so that's fine. So next turn they're going to be able to untap with Kiora. Can we do anything about that? Can we Deluge main phase? Okay, let's do that. Binding and Farewell, I think, here. So they are going to get a Storm the Festival off here. Okay, they're going to Storm again. Just no Planeswalkers is fine. Yep, they will get to draw 2 cards. Okay, well, we'll take my punishment, but in the meantime, let's exile all artifacts, creatures, and graveyards. Yeah, that's fine. This Kiora is an absolute nightmare, but it's got 10 mana. Karn. Yeah, so it doesn't look good. I think, yeah, we should have just played around Karn initially, but they had one card. We could, it was just one of those things. They never don't have it. So I don't think we're not necessarily dead yet. If they just go and get another Pithing Needle, what the frick does that do? Will you stop playing Nykthoses? don't think there's anything I can do here. Lay down arms, leyline binding, but I just can't deal with all of this is the problem. Yeah. Yeah, one move, and that would have been very different, but well, mono green is what it is. Yeah, this hand's okay. Got a verdict against fast starts. A sensor to fairy is always good, but will take a minute to get to. He's lost again. Ting for the opponent. Overgrown farmland as a tap land. That's interesting. Angels, perhaps? Yes. Okay, that makes sense. Stand by with verdict. Okay, temporary lockdown is good here, so let's play that. Now we're waiting on a collected company. Interesting. Makes a change, so let's play Big Taff. Send away their Valkyrie. Sure thing. I did not want to do that. I just misclicked there. So what I'll do is I'll pass the turn with Leyline binding up. And I'm just binding away the angel. See if I can tempt them into trying to activate its ability. Ooh, I'm a villain. I'm an evil villain. Okay, Iganjo's a good draw, so let's main phase Memory Deluge. Take Typhoon and Emperor. Don't think we need that for its effect anymore, so let's untap. Yep. Yep. So I'm just going to be verdicting, so I'll just uptick for no value. So we're pretty much locked to win this game now. Yep. Yep. There's the concession. So I think another temporary lockdown is good. Baneslayer and Lyra to tussle with their angels. Starnheim Unleashed? Yeah. And then let's take out a Let's take out Farewell here. I don't think we need it. Couple of sensors. No, actually, let's leave in one. Let's take out one Absorb, one sensor, and one Deluge. Yep, just because we're on the draw this time, so it will be more challenging. See, this is a good hand against them, but one land. But we can cycle the sensors. Yeah, I'm going to keep it and take the risk. If we draw a land, I think it's great. And we're going to have several looks at it. There's a lot of land in this deck, but I never seem to have a huge number in my opening hand. Okay, they've mulled to 5 on the play. That's never a good sign. Okay, that's not a land. Yep. Neither is that. Oh, come on. That is ever so slightly quite silly. Ridiculous. Okay. That was just stupid. So let's just slightly amend our deck here. As we're on the play, and go in again. Shame we lost the mull to 5 as an easy win there, but we drew like 5 cards and not a single land in our 25 land deck, so nothing you can do. Our opponent seems to be thinking hard about this one. Yeah, okay, they've kept. Sure thing. Okay. So we're going to cycle the Typhoon here, looking for a land. Okay, Lockdown is going to be great here if we can get to it. There's a land. That was a pretty brutal exchange for us there. Now we have Absorb, Binding, Verdict, and Lyra next turn. But I'm not in any hurry to fire off the Lyra, because they will have a Coco in hand, I'm sure. Yep, so let's absorb that. Oh, cool. Let's play Lyra here. Okay, Pride Mate's ticking up. So I suspect my opponent is holding a company in hand, but apparently not. Okay. So let's just play Big Tef. Send this chappy away. Maybe they've just got land in hand. Nice. Okay, let's plus here. Doesn't have vigilance, unfortunately. So let's just pass the turn, holding up Binding and Lyra. Yep. See if we can tempt them into trying to offer their Angel for Teferi, which they are doing. So let's pass to blockers. Let's block one. And let's Binding away the other. So that's a very neat exchange for us. Okay, another Ajani, sure thing. So let's draw. Let's lay down the arms here. They're on a lot of life, but not so much that I care to worry about it at the moment. There we are. Okay, there we are. 2 games with the control decks. Leyline Binding was obviously an all-star in that deck, as it is in almost every deck that it sees play in. So yeah, shame about the mono-green matchup. We were very close there, but we just made one mistake playing around the wrong card. So it happens. It's the danger of playing mono-green, but that is Binding control. So yeah, the Triomes obviously serve quite a lot of purposes in that deck. They help you play the Binding for more cheap. They allow us to play Chromium in the sideboard. And also they're good cyclers late in the game for just drawing into more gas. So how many lands are we running again? 18, 20. 13, 15, 12, 15, 18, 21. Yeah, 26. I think, yes, justifiably frustrating about that second game, but we got there in the end. So that is the match today. So thank you for watching. As ever, hit those like and subscribe buttons. Only a couple of days now, or potentially one day, depending on when this comes out, till March of the Machine, and we will be building decks with new cards straight away from that. So I shall look forward to that, and I will see you next time.